Hey, it's Mad Jack, the creator, back here on creating in the second half of life. Uh, Today, I kind of want to get together with you and talk about something that's really important to writers. I kind of thought about bringing this up earlier, but I think it's now's the time to really touch base about it. And it's very important. It's your voice. And when I talk about voice, it's your writing voice, and it's it's something you develop where you actually put the way you talk and the way you think on paper. It's kind of a unique thing, but I think one of the ways you see a writer's voice, if you have a favorite author and you read a lot of their books, you'll notice that they have a voice. Most writers do have a certain voice. You can call it tone, you can call it whatever you want, but that is their voice. And I think it's important for people to have that. One of the things to do, I think, is important is try to read as much as you can and pay attention to what people are doing as they're writing, and you see their voice come to life on the paper. And by doing that as well, you need to pay attention to your own voice when you're talking. Listen to when you talk to your kids or your spouse or your friends at work and hear the little changes. We all do little different things when we talk to people. And I think that's an important thing for us to realize. Those are things you want to put on paper because there's way more than a million writers out there. And you're wondering, what are the chances I'm going to be that one that's going to hit? Well, we don't know if you're going to hit if you got a great voice. But the thing is, you want to use your voice whenever you can. In fact, you should use it all the time, not just when you can, when you're writing. I mean, what do you use when you talk to people? So that's part of it. You have to take a good look at yourself and remember that conversation you're having is your voice. Try to sit down, take a paragraph you've read in someone else's book and describe it your way. Take any paragraph you want to, pick any book you like. Maybe take a whole page and rewrite it and do it the way you would tell that story. And stay true to your voice when you do it. Hear yourself as a conversation, put it on paper. It's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about a little bit today is characters. Someone mentioned to me they have a hard time developing characters, have a hard time describing characters. How do you do that? Yeah, well, I'll tell you the best way to start with. First, character. Go to a mirror in your bathroom, in your bedroom, somewhere you have a pretty good sized mirror. Look in the mirror and describe that person. Describe that person. That's you, obviously. Describe yourself, your hair, your glasses, if you have glasses, your teeth, your smile, your shirt, your belly if you're a little chunky, your smell. Have you just got back from the gym? Do you smell bad? Do you need to take a shower? Describe all those things about you. Your demeanor. How do you think about things? Is this person conservative or liberal? Maybe you put that down there. Maybe you think they're anything you want. Describe that person. That person's you. And the reason it's so easy to use that person is because the one person who's always available to you is you. And describe that person in your voice. Don't try to be someone else describing you. That's the point where you're going to know that you've actually made progress in your writing skills is by describing that character, you, with your voice, your tone. Doesn't mean you have to be critical or self-critical. Don't do that. Describe the person. It's a description, okay? It's not a critique. It's a description, and that's what you want. Everything about that person, if you can. And from there, go to members of your family if you want to, or if you're afraid to do that, because you might see it and get torqued, just random people. Sometimes I find someone, we're walking through a grocery store, and I see someone I think is kind of unique, and I'll kind of remember that person. I get the cards out, a couple notes, I get home and I'll describe that person. I've developed a number of characters that are totally fictitious in my book, The Eclectics. Eclectics is, it's fiction, it's a comedy, and all the people in there are fictitious except for one thing. They're all based on real people that I saw. What I did was I took those people that I saw, some that I had worked with, some that were in my family. One's a very good friend of mine, and I changed them using my voice into these characters. And there's 15, 16 characters in that book. And so they're all based on someone real. But you describe them in your voice, and that brings that character to life, makes it unique. No one else can make that character. That same character, let's say you've got someone, let's say you're a mailman, same mailman for 10, 15 years. And you've got to know the mailman a little bit. Let's say everyone on your street describes that mailman in their own voice when they write it down. Well, he's going to be different to everyone. Everyone. And that's what makes you unique. Put that on paper. That starts your story. And so with your voice and the character, you're going to go into plot or no plot. And this is something we're going to talk about quite a bit. Because right now, obviously, we're talking fiction. We're talking voice, character, and plot. And those are part of fiction writing. Later, we'll talk nonfiction. But today, let's talk that fiction action. So, you've got your character described in your voice, and now your story needs a plot. Or does it? Oddly enough, a lot of great writers really don't count plot. They really don't side with it. Let's take maybe arguably the most famous fiction author in the world, Stephen King. He feels plot gets in the way of the story. Developing a plot, obviously, is what is going to be happening in your book as it goes along. I've written one fiction book. There's no plot. There was no plot. It developed as the book went along. I had an idea of what was going to be happening. I had an idea for the setting. Setting is not plot. So I had an idea for the setting, and I had ideas for the characters, and I started building them, and as the story went along, it turned 4 or 5 times. Halfway through the book, I had an idea it was going to be a totally different outcome than what the outcome was, because I didn't really have a plot. During that time period, I actually saw a video of Stephen King saying, plot just gets in the way. Let the story flow. If you write in your voice and you develop your own characters in your voice, the story will flow from those characters. The things you think those characters will do, those things those characters will do just because you think they'll do. That's what it is. That's the fiction part. It's you. It's in your mind. It's what you put together. It's what you put on paper. That's what you do. Those are little short clips of each thing. So we talked about voice. We talked about character. We talked about plot or lack thereof. We're going to go back to these again. But for now, we're going to cut it off here. So remember, write messy, edit clean. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again soon.